patience, tolerance, right? So we will continue from there. I will share my screen.
This is a famous quote. All of you should know this, right? Yeah. So basically, Krishna is instructing Arjuna not to lament, but to tolerate. He's saying, tolerate.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I am unable to record it. Shamkun, Prabhu.
So you don't see the record button with you?
Don't worry, Mataji.
I see the record button.
I'm doing live stream.
Oh, you have to take. Okay, Prabhu. Thanks. So you are recording, right, Lalit Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. I have made you co-host. Now you can also record, but you need not.
Tolerate. That's what we are meant to do. All of us, actually, if you live in this material, you have to tolerate. No, you go to the airport, you have to wait and wait and wait. You have to go through the what do you call that? TSA. You have to tolerate. You have to stand like a fool, and then it's because they're protecting you, but you have to tolerate all those inconveniences, right? Like today it's colder than yesterday. It's not like it's never cold, but it's always cold here. So it's just a bit more colder. I actually felt it, pain on my cheeks when I was walking. I said, whoa. Yeah. So it's not that Arjuna should forsake everything. Like, for example, let's say you come and then you are practicing and someone is nasty to you and then you blame the whole movement. I'm not coming anymore to temple. That's nonsense. The reality is maybe you don't want to come to temple and you're looking for an excuse. Right? That is the reality. Why? Because your relationship is with Krishna. That one jiva is making noise at you. That's got nothing to do with your relationship with Krishna. No one can come between you and your relationship with Krishna. And if you react, means you don't understand the philosophy properly yet. Time to read Prabhupada's books. Stop listening to nonsense. Right? Yeah. So he is instructing Arjuna to tolerate and perform the duties so that one can attain liberation eventually. So a devotee does not think, he does not consider what exactly happens to him, whether it is happiness or distress or justice or injustice, right? Many of the questions are pertaining to justice, but we should ask ourselves, what does Krishna want? So we have to raise our consciousness, and that's the difficult part actually in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Because why? Purusha prakritisto hi bhungte prakriti jan guna karanam guna sangasya sarasat yoni janmasu. As you associate with these modes of nature, they affect you, they affect your consciousness, and therefore you associate with them and you see things through the lens of the modes of material nature. So rise above that, Nishtraya Guna Bhava Arjuna, rise above the modes, then you act transcendentally. That's the whole talk of Krishna to Arjuna. Be transcendental, and then you don't worry anymore. Yeah. Then you won't worry because you know everything, where everything is situated properly. And then you will say, if someone does something to you, or if they have some kind of feelings or emotions, you will say, another Vaishnava, so-and-so, is afflicted by me. or affected by me because I said something. So then let me clarify my intentions, but not justify and not blame. Right? We always want to justify why I said that. No, you say, I'm sorry, I hurt you, I want to know how I hurt you, or apologize. Actually, that's not what I meant. That's wrong. Don't worry about it. Just say, I'm so sorry. Because, we all make mistakes, and sometimes even though we are very careful, still when we say something, it may hurt another person. Like, I may be saying something, someone new walks through and they hear me saying, you fool. They may be thinking I'm calling them a fool, right? They look around and say, well, I'm not a fool. Yeah, it can happen. Yeah, so we should always clarify our intention, but we should not justify nor blame, but just beg for forgiveness and move on. All right, cultivating, no? So this is in Adi Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. A devotee engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord should practice forbearance like that of a tree. So this is in the Shastra. You're supposed to practice. All of us are meant to practice forbearance. Right? You have to ask yourself, how much can I tolerate? It'll come. We will come to that. This practice of forbearance, tarorapi sahisna, is very difficult, Prabhupada says. So y'all can have a sigh of relief. It's difficult. Okay. But when one actually engages in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, the quality of forbearance automatically develops. That's a key point here. If you are chanting sincerely, you will develop this quality. If you are not developing this quality, then you better ask your well-wishers, what is wrong with me? You should go to them and say, I can't stand anything. Right? Be honest about it and then let them help you out. Automatically develops, Prabhupada says that. A person advanced in spiritual consciousness through the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra need not practice to develop it separately. That means you don't go and look for trouble. Right? Go and have a fight to see, am I forbearing? Do I tolerate? Yeah. For a devotee develops all good qualities simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra regularly. How sincere are we? That's what we should ask. And then you will find that maybe I need to improve my level of chanting, my consciousness, I have to improve. And then you will make time for it. And you'll keep aside a sacred space for yourself, Krishna. When you chant, you are having that relationship with Krishna. That's between you and Krishna. Maybe you have Krishna in your altar, then you have your laptop in between Krishna and you. Maybe you need to move it aside. Yeah? Or your cell phone. Many of us are married to the cell phone. Actually, what is that? It'll come to me. Yeah. Manha sastan indriyani prakriti stani karch. Mama Yongsa Jiva Loka, that was. Manha sastan indriyani, the 6 senses. Each of us are married to the 6 senses. It's in the Bhagavatam. It says it's like having 6 wives or husband. So that way, they are saying, what about this, what about that? So we should be very careful, yeah. Right? This is what you all want to do. So what did Mahaprabhu say about tolerating? First, he of course says you should be like the Trinarapi Sunichana Tarurapi Sahisna Manina Manadina Kritanya Sadahari. He says you should tolerate like that. So we should be tolerant like a tree and submissive like grass. Nevertheless, the author of these instructions, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, did not tolerate the misbehavior of Jagai and Madai. He didn't tolerate their misbehavior, right? When they heard Lord Nityananda, he came to chop their head off. He didn't care. So Srila Prabhupada writes in his purports, one should be meek and humble in his personal transaction. In our own transactions, we should be meek and humble. People shout at us, we should be just meek and humble, tolerate. That's what he says. When insulted, should be tolerant and not angry. Okay? Try to practice. This is all a question of practicing. Retaliate when there is blasphemy against one's guru or another Vaishnava and be as angry as fire. Prabhupada writes this in the purports. Only when it's against the Supreme Lord, one's guru or another Vaishnava, you see someone blaspheme another, you go and right? That's what he wants us to do. So Jagai and Madai did not behave properly, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore did not tolerate. But as Prabhupada says there, you can retaliate. He did not retaliate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not tolerate. As soon as Nityananda was abused, right, he came flying. So much anger, so much so that Jagai and Madai were so afraid. Then they understood this was grave offense, and there was transformation. So similarly, do you or do we want to commit offense then hope for transformation? No, that's not first class. We want to be first class Vaishnavas. So when someone blasphemes, you quote the Shastra, you say this is, and you're wrong, so you defeat them. Okay? Higher reasoning. If you can't do that, so he gives us escape. If you can't die on the spot, please go away. That means go away from that spot. Don't hear anymore. Yeah, if you hear blasphemy, it will contaminate your heart. That's the whole idea. So therefore you should not hear blasphemy. It's not healthy for us. So there's a pastime where in Banaras or in Kasi, the Mayavadi sannyasis blasphemed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he was dancing and chanting, and so they say he's a crazy fella, he's a sannyas. So Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar, they heard the criticism. And so they came and then they complained to Mahaprabhu, what to do, we can't do anything. So Mahaprabhu told them, don't go there, And it was intolerable for them. So this is how a devotee should be. You hear some blaspheme, either you defeat them or you go away, but you should be intolerable about that. But later on you can see how Mahaprabhu went there and transformed them by his behavior. Of course, if there's too much and it's adharmic, then the next slide will make sense. When their cousins, the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, known as the Kauravas, unlawfully contended for the throne, the Pandavas showed patience and tolerance. But when the Kauravas persisted, the Pandavas could tolerate no more, and the great Mahabharata war ensued. So that war was very bloody. You all read Mahabharata? It's horrible, horrors. But finally, the Pandavas got the rewards of tolerance, patience, and being Krishna conscious. They remained faithful to Lord Krishna, although they were banished to the forest for how long? 12 years plus 1. Bonus, 12 plus 1. You buy 12, you get 1 free. They lost everything, but they persevered. Everything was taken away from them. They fought the battle, and ultimately they became the kings because And Prabhupada says, that's enthusiasm and patience. Of course, we don't want you all to go out fighting or something, you know. That's not what he means in that sense. It means they persisted and they were waiting for the Lord's mercy or blessing, and they continued. Although they were in such a difficult situation, they will drop everything. We'll say, I'm not going to chant, right? I'll keep the bit, no more. Krishna's not helping. I'm now in denial that there is Krishna. I don't care. Krishna, you rascal, like that, you know. Like you take on the mood of like a paternal personality, but actually you don't have that adhikar yet. As I said earlier, you know, more examples of tolerance and forbearance. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Here is Daksha. Although Lord Shiva, you know the Daksha Yagna, right? Yeah, 4th canto. Although Lord Shiva could have killed or made it clear to Daksha at that point, he took the humble position. Humble means tolerant also. Tolerating the insults of Daksha. So therefore, he is very tolerant. So same thing we learn from this pastime. How nasty Daksha was, right? It's like, you know, Daksha is the temple president. Lord Shiva is the cook downstairs cooking. And the cook married the temple president's daughter. And so every time the cook comes up to see the deity, the temple president says, go away, you're dirty man, you know, go away. Unnecessary anger. So in the same way, Daksha is like that. So you can relate, it happens, right? You can put all these personalities in your own life and you can see it's actually happening every time. Yeah. That's one. Let's look at the next one. This is Bhumi Devi. This is the purport, Canto 1, Chapter 12, verse 22. In the modern age, the people have begun to detonate atomic weapons on the surface of the earth, and still the earth is forbearing to the inhabitants like a mother who excuses a little child. Parents are always tolerant to children for all sorts of mischievous acts. It's so nice, Prabhupada writes like that. It's in the purport, and it's about Maharshi, how tolerant he was, although he was so powerful. Speaking of tolerant, today is also Jayadev Goswami's appearance day, right? So I have a story about Jayadev Goswami. May I read? Yeah? I'll read it. I could just give you a summary, but this is so nice. It's written by Madhavananda of the, Jagannath. As Jayadev was returning to his ashram, he happened to meet some thieves. Sri Jayadev asked, "Where are you going?" The thieves replied, "We are going to the same place you are going." Understood that they were plunderers, and so he untied the coins from his cloth and gave them to the thieves, saying, "Kindly take as many of these as you want and return the rest to me." The thieves thought, "And is very clever. Out of fear, he has given us everything without our even asking. But later on, when we arrive at a town, he will have us arrested." Thinking like this, the thieves kept some distance from Jayadev while continuing to walk. This is, few centuries, they're walking from one place to another. As they are walking, one of the thieves whispered to the others, "I think it is best if we kill him." Another said that since they had already gotten so much wealth from him, there was no use in killing him. Another thief warned, "If later on he recognizes us and appeals to the king to punish us, what will we do?" Then the fourth thief gave his opinion, saying, "Do not kill him and do not leave him. We should break his arms and legs and throw him in a ditch." Everyone agreed with this idea. Nasty people, huh? And so they broke Jayadev's hands and legs and, after throwing him into a ditch, returned home. After a short while, the king, Lakshman Singh, passed by on that road. He saw a divine effulgence coming from the ditch. And then he found Sri Jayadev joyfully performing Sankirtan, even though his hands and legs had been broken. Tolerant. Talk about tolerant.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Okay. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everybody. So I'm just stopping here. So am I audible? So any questions or any realizations, Matajis and Prabhujis, that you would like to share here? Yeah, sure. Bring Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's a very beautiful lecture. And I liked the statement which said that nothing can come in between the relationship between you and Krishna. That was very nice. And also that rather than justifying, we should try to clarify our stand. That was also a very nice thing that I learned. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing your points.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji, I have one question. Not a question, like I want to understand. So it was the case of Prabhuji was the explaining about the case, like Pandavas, how they were tolerant, and Lord Shiva's and Daksha's case, Lord Shiva was tolerant. But because of this tolerance, lot of devastation happens. Either it was a Mahabharata, or we know that all the pastimes of how Mother Sati goes in the yajnas, and so much things happens, and people were killed. So in the both the cases, we see that either it's a Mahabharata case or Daksha's yajnas, lot of people's killed, and many things happens. It is true, like Pandavas was rewarded, and Daksha was also killed, and he got the lesson. But what is the cost? That like innocent people paid for that, because in the war, lot of people killed, and innocent people killed, and unnecessary things happens because we tolerated the situation. So my question is, I want to understand, should we like tolerate and keep patience at this cost? I want to understand, like because Duryodhana and all, they were very like a cruel person, and Pandavas tolerated, and it happened, it's turned into the Mahabharata war. Lot of people were killed. So if we give such people's the lesson at the correct time, it may not turn into that worst situation. So I want to like understand from you and our Prabhuji or Mataji, anyone. I hope my question is clear.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. let us see if any Prabhujis or Matajis would like to address this question. Kumarika Mataji, would you like to answer this question from Chandan Prabhu Mataji?
Sorry, Mataji. Actually, somebody had come with some ailment. I was prescribing something to them. I missed the question totally of Chandan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Actually, Krishna descended to the earth to unburden the earth. Even what is that? Bhima's grandson saw. Actually, Krishna killed everybody, not Arjuna. That Sudarshan Chakra killing everybody afterwards the arrows of Arjuna came like that. So there is a purpose. Mahabharata was the purpose. Only Pandavas remained, all other people perished. So Krishna wanted to unburden the earth. That is why it has happened. It's not that is the reason. So it's a Leela. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So Chandan Prabhu, does it answers your question, Chandan Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, I will try to meditate on the answer. I will see. Yeah, what Prabhuji is told is correct only. It was the past times, it was a Leela.
But still, we will see, Prabhu, if any of the Prabhujis or Matajis, they will try to get this in their points. Yeah?
Can you repeat the question, Prabhu?
हरे कृष्णा कुमारिका माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। माता जी, मेरा प्रश्न ये था कि चाहे महाभारत का वॉर था या भगवान शिव और दक्ष वाला जो केस था, तो शिव जी भी बहुत ज्यादा टॉलरेंट थे, पेशेंट थे, लेकिन उसका जो रिजल्ट आया, आउटकम था कि वो जो यज्ञ में माता सती जाती हैं, क्योंकि जब ऐसे लोगों को दंड नहीं दिया जाता है तो उनका अभिमान और भी बढ़ता है, और इट टर्न्स इनटू द मोर लाइक डिवास्टेटेड केस इन द यज्ञ। वी ऑल नो द पास्ट टाइम्स कि क्या हुआ था वहां पे। लॉट ऑफ इनोसेंट पीपल मर गए, उनको कर्स हुआ, दोनों तरफ से कर्सिंग हुआ। इवन इन महाभारत वार दुर्योधन को एट द करेक्ट टाइम he was not punished, then lot of like crores of people were killed in the Mahabharata war. It's true कि पांडव लोग टॉलरेंट थे और पेशेंट थे, उनको रिवार्ड मिला, लेकिन ये जो कॉस्ट सब लोगों ने पे किया इस रिवार्ड के लिए, अगर हम पहले ही ऐसे लोगों को सप्रेस कर दे, सबड्यू कर दे, तो फिर ये जो सिचुएशन, वर्स्ट सिचुएशन जो हुआ था महाभारत का वार, ऐसा नहीं होता। ये मैं दोनों पक्ष को, दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स को समझना चाह रहा था कि क्या बिल्कुल हम लोगों को पेशेंट और टॉलरेंट इस कॉस्ट पे इतना एक्सटेंडेड टॉलरेंट एंड पेशेंट होना चाहिए हम लोगों को कि लोगों को बहुत बड़ा कीमत चुकाना पड़े इसके लिए, या शुरू में ही इसको सप्रेस सबड्यू कर देना चाहिए ताकि इस तरह का वर्स्ट सिचुएशन ना आए। ये मेरा क्वेश्चन है।
Prabhu, actually, as Shamkund Prabhu pointed out yesterday, that yes, we have to retaliate sometimes when it is touching our dharma, or things like that 5 things that in the purport Prabhupada has mentioned. If somebody is usurping our property or causing harm to our wife or children, and burning, doing arson, burning away things. So many, the 4 or 5 things in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, all the 5 things already Duryodhana had done. So in a way, if you see, yes, they have to, sometimes criminals have to be punished then and there. But of course, as Sanatan Prabhu pointed out, Krishna had his own reasons for collecting all of them together and doing it in an elaborate way. because he had some other goal in his mind of unburdening the earth, etc. Yes, but as you say, yes, it should be curbed, because if it is getting out of hands later on, if you tolerate and give so much things for the enemy to build up his strength, then that is not that is foolishness also. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, just additional points from here. There is a room for tolerance and there is a room for violence. And in the fourth canto itself, Prabhupada writes that when the Kshatriyas can use the violence when it is need for maintaining law and order. So now, the first thing that you said, that the innocent people were killed. One thing we need to keep in mind, that there is nothing like happen accidental, some innocent people and they're being killed. If that is the scenario, then that is being injustice being done to that. And our dear Lord Krishna's system of law, there is no injustice to anyone. So this is the first important point, because we think that somebody is innocent and then they're being killed and there is accident. There is nothing called accident in this material world. There is a systematic plan. One deserves that, he get it. Now, how he get it? There is when Lord has a plan, and first of all, his Lord's Leela, and it happens according to his will to punish people, to bring all those people who are deserve some punishment, he brings together, and in one shot he does. Lord has a fantastic and very great ways of eliminating all these sinful people in one shot, and in one way, in one action, he can actually fulfill. Prabhupada writes in one of the purport in the third canto that Lord Krishna can fulfill many things in one action. So this statement of being innocent, being killed, I think that we need to understand in a better way that no, there is nothing like that. Actually, nothing happens accidental in this material world. Lord has its own plan, and these devotees are actually demonstrating some qualities of that. Pandavas had not that done, the war would not have been done, and many people. You see, in fact, the other way, right? When these people were killed, actually, Prabhupada writes in the purport that they all actually went to Lord because they were died in front of Lord Sri Krishna. So they got the better results. So now being struggling in this material world or going to the spiritual world is better. So so we do not know what is Lord's plan. Some other thought on this point, Prabhu. Hope it helps. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. In the case of this Jarachandra, how many times Krishna allowed him to escape? He wanted him to bring a lot of army and lot of the people. He had a plan to kill all of them. That is also one way of unburdening the earth. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for adding it. Shamkun Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu, we had the question from Yashaswini Mataji yesterday, right? So,
Yeah, I forgot the question. Can you please tell me the question again, please? If you don't, Yashaswini Mataji, can you repeat it, please? I forgot about it.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My question was, I also forget. What? Yeah. In Parvati, in yesterday's pastime, we heard that Lord Shiva, Parvati, and Chitraketu, in that Radha Krishna Prabhu was saying that Chitraketu was tolerating and Parvati was something like Parvati was not able to tolerate the offense towards this Lord Shiva. So I was thinking that what I was thinking that Parvati was right because then other devotees should not keep silent. They should either leave the place or either do something. So in that case, Parvati was correct, and it was not the forbearance of Chitraketu, it was the accepting the punishment. So how to take this, that is the tolerance, or is the same thing we can say that Parikshit Maharaj accepted the punishment, and but the other brahmanas who cursed that Shringi Rishi also, that the brahmana will lose their power to some curse was came on all the brahmana caste. So there should be something means when devotee is insulted, there should be some not punishment, that some, so that that offender can be protected from other fall down, and his devotional service can be protected, like that. My question.
So yours is a statement, right? It's not a question, and you just want to validate your statement.
No, it was question, Prabhu, that how to understand that is basically I want to understand that how Parvati was correct, and how Parvati was wrong, Mother Parvati was wrong, and Chitraketu was correct, or like that.
No, see, if you go through the commentaries and the purports of Srila Prabhupada, and even the text matter of the Bhagavatam related to Parvati and Chitraketu, Chitraketu's intention was actually not to ridicule Lord Shiva or Parvati, Mother Parvati. He was actually expressing an astonishment that a person of the caliber of Lord Shiva is so great that his wife can sit on his lap, and he's having a loving dalliance with her, and yet internally he's still connected fully to the Supreme Lord. For him, that surprise came out as a laughter. Mother Parvati took his laughter to be different. She took it as being that she's being ridiculed. One action, one person feels one way, another person feels another way. So Chitraketu was not wrong. Mother Parvati, to whatever extent she had seen, she's in one sense an expansion of Maya Devi. So what she did was also not wrong. And the end result was that Chitraketu could very soon go back to the spiritual world. It just accelerated his going back to the supreme abode. That's one part. But your question, is it more related to, is it appropriate for us to also, like what the discussion has been going on, is it appropriate for us to punish? I wouldn't say curse, I wouldn't say anything else, but I would say to punish somebody who's doing something wrong. Is that what you're trying to say, Mataji?
Not punishment, at least speaking something, like if one devotee is offended someone, then at least not always punishment. It can be punishment also, but at least speaking on the side of the devotee who offended.
So here, this is something I'm just continuing from where I spoke to Chandan Prabhu. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. I don't recollect. When like the question that you asked now, when a devotee is offended, why limit it to just somebody who's a devotee? It can even be a person who's not a devotee. In other words, let us not make this distinction of devotee, non-devotee. Everybody is a human being. A devotee deserves special respect, but respect is something that is common to everybody, whether it is devotee or whether a person is non-devotee. There is some basic respect. A devotee deserves little more respect. So the other thing is the word offense. We sometimes, some of us, for the lack of proper vocabulary, we use this word very frequently. Do we offend somebody? No. So the word offense is treated, mostly we treat it as um, something equivalent to blasphemy. No, rather than that, maybe somebody is hurt. But when they're hurt, who is the person causing the hurt? Is it we? Or is it that person's mental condition itself makes a person very sensitive to anything? Correct? So rather than saying here, if we have hurt somebody, it has to be intentional. If it was not intentional on our part, the person is hurt. Fine. And we may need to learn how to avoid it in the future. That is one part of it. Okay. But now having set right the background here, you're, I'm just rephrasing your the question that you said. When our activities have hurt another person, or when somebody hurts us, to be more precise, it hurts us or somebody hurts another third person, is it appropriate for us to go and tell that your action so and so caused a consternation, caused an anguish in the other person? Maybe you can try to avoid it. Is that a better rephrasing of the question, Mataji, or does it still capture the essence of your question?
Correct, Prabhu. Correct. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So now, with that as the basic premise, um, sometimes talking helps. Sometimes we allow life to take its course so that the person learns through what life brings to the person. Sometimes we pray. It is not always that a person learns. If you tell a person also that what you did was wrong, it is not always that a person learns it. We can tell it once, we can tell it twice, maybe 5 times, but some people don't get it. And some people, you don't even need to tell once or twice. One look, they understand that it is that what had happened was wrong. Or one action, and they realize, oh my God, I might have done something wrong. I should go and ask. It's very much dependent on that person's evolution in the spiritual scale. So, having said that, that is the superficial part. The real part is, why do people behave that way? People behave that way because, definitely because due to conditioned life. And part of conditioning is that, uh, number one, there could be what they call as hidden trauma. Something has happened at some point in time, and now the body system, the mind and the body has closed itself to it, and whenever slightest thing happens, a trigger occurs, they immediately behave in a particular way. It happens. So when you or I would go and tell such a person, hey, you're doing something wrong, it doesn't register to them because they are just busy protecting their own mind. They believe they are protecting their own mind, their own interests, etc. You or I may be very well right. And in other cases, we just don't know what is happening inside the mind of the person. They feel like you or I, if I were to go and say, you, their feelings would be, you do not understand what is happening here for me. I have sacrificed myself. I have changed. I have done so much for so many times, and yet this is what I get. Yes, maybe my response may be disproportionate, but I have also given disproportionately before. I have extended myself disproportionately. So, the bottom line I'm trying to say here is, sometimes there is a story behind the story. The story that we see is somebody is doing something right or wrong, but behind that, there is a story. Many times, rather than going and correcting, it helps to ask people. There seems to like, why do, like, when you are doing this, you seem to be either happy or sad. Can you explain why you're doing this? Is there something that has happened? And most of the times, people just want an outlet to just speak about it. And when they speak about it for once or twice or thrice, they have a relief and they can move on in life. So rather than looking at it as correction, we need to look at it as um, a psychotherapy session, sort of, if we really have the patience and if we have the ability to do it. Many times, I personally, I don't get into it because I believe there are people who are much more capable. I just tell maybe you can go to the other person and do it, because there is so much of positivity sometimes and so much negativity also, which happens when one discusses these things, that one may get affected. That I feel that I may get affected. So I acknowledge honestly, I know you're going through this. I don't think I can take it so much. Maybe you can talk to so and so person. They may be of help to you. So we have to understand our own limitations. We are not the saviors of the entire world. We are tiny jivas. We can only do so much. And sometimes Krishna has given us the ability to take care of everybody else too. Uh, Intelligence is in knowing what our limits are. Sometimes we are intelligent. Most of the times we are not intelligent. So it's something we learn throughout life. But the key part here is knowing that we should not beat ourselves to it that, hey, I was able to influence or not. The key part is, am I able to take the other person to somebody who can be of help to me? That's the thing, Mataji. So rather than just mere correction, there is a character transformation required. And part of the character transformation is people are looking for somebody who can just listen to them, somebody who can empathize with them. That's a much more important aspect than just saying words. Many times words are not required. Just hearing out the story behind the story itself is sufficient. Does it help?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Marika Mataji, you have raised your hand, Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah, please, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
actually, I wanted to add to Prabhu what he said for that question of Yashashwini Mataji. I asked a similar question once, and I was given this answer. If somebody is, say, finding fault or if they are doing a mistake, is it necessary for us to intervene? Not unless we have a very great rapport with that person, that you are sure they will listen to you. You have got that emotional bonding with that person, and you want to help that person personally. Or you are the senior mentor or somebody who is the authority who is supposed to correct such behavior. Unless and until it doesn't fall into any of these categories, it is your intimate friend who is doing a mistake and you want to help her or him very seriously, then you can take the risk. Because of the emotional bondage and rapport, they may listen to you. Otherwise, to intervene will be not appropriate unless and until it is your job to correct them. That is what I was told, Mataji.
Thank you so much,
Wonderful.
Mataji.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So, Prabhu, it's already 7:20. So we
Yes,
will
yes.
conclude today's session and we'll can join tomorrow. Vancha kalpatrubhesha kripa sindhubhesha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.